to go backwards at all, but so many new guys joined our team in August, July, June, that we couldn't spend any time with them until August 1. This year we'll be able to at least sit in a room with them and talk to them, be around them, get up in the early in the morning, like I told you we've been doing, and get out there and just spend time with them and challenge them and try to see what they're all about.
You have a position on your coaching staff still available. What are your plans with that?
Yeah, interviewing guys now. Just when there's a lot of things that go into it. It's not just about finding the right guy and making a decision. So, been interviewing some guys, got some leads, and we'll hopefully get something done here early next week.
Defensive guy?
Best available. Best way I can put it. We've been coaching. We've been coaching our guys here for about 3 weeks on what we're going to be doing on all three sides of the ball. And we're very comfortable with our schemes and who's coaching what. So I at this point in time, it's the best available.
Danny, you've talked about what the players do and that during the off season. Have the defenses from last year given you reason to think of changes that you guys have to make, either philosophically or really on the field? I mean, have they begun catching up to what you were doing there?
Oh, gosh, you may have asked that question last year. I mean, it seems like it's been.
I repeat myself sometimes.
Well, it's not that, Bob. It's more, trying to find reasons why we weren't successful. And I'm going to attribute that to other factors other than defenses catching up to what we're doing offensively. It's about execution. We weren't very good last year offensively of executing in key times. Was that because they're doing different things on third down, or they're creating different blitzes or different coverages? I don't think so. I think we knew what they were doing, and we just had a hard time executing it for a variety of reasons.
On that same vein, the speed of play, that's been an issue. What's your thoughts on it? I think I know, but
do I have to answer? I don't view it as a big deal. I went slower last year than I probably ever have in 10 years. Because we weren't very good at executing. How many times we snapped the ball when that clock was in the 30s? I would challenge you it was very many. So I don't know. How much is it going to change it? I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it'd change it or not. I don't think it would change us very much. But I don't agree with it. I don't think it's a good rule.
Talk a little bit about it seems like there's a lot of change in coaching staff here. Is that, from your standpoint, a good thing, or your coaches are getting opportunities at other places, or a bad thing because you're not getting continuity on your own team?
It's both, to be honest with you. I mean, if you look at some of the guys that's left, they've left for a variety of reasons and been off to good jobs because we've had success. Continuity is something that me and Oliver have talked about a lot. We want to do a variety of things to be able to make sure that we ensure continuity for this coming year and in the future. So I think their continuity can be good. Change can be good as well. And some of the things that have changed here, I think we have changed for the better in a whole lot of those situations.
Dana, for the people who are going to buy tickets this year and everything, is there something you can point to maybe encourage them? I mean, something that maybe they haven't been seeing?
Well, yeah. I mean, everybody wants to win. Nobody wants to win more than me and this coaching staff, this team, and Mountaineer Nation. I mean, I understand how much everybody wants to win, and I understand how much it means to everybody. And there is some disappointing losses last year, but I can promise you one thing, that we're going to work harder than we did last year. We're going to have more continuity. We're going to have more experience. Don't forget, we're playing in one of the most exciting conferences in all of college football. There were some pretty exciting games out there on Mountaineer Field last year that we just happened to come up a couple points short. So with a bunch of experience, and that's one reason why we're going to open up these practices this spring. I encourage everybody to come watch and come see what you think. you know, I tell you, our guys are working hard, and they're excited about spring ball. They're excited about 2014. You know, we're working as hard as we can possibly work, and I do think the product's going to be improved. I do think we'll put something out there that you can be proud of. And then there's some exciting guys that have played a lot of ball. That, you know, if I don't have anything to do on a Saturday, I'm going to go watch it. You know, because there's some exciting games that are going to take place out there on Mountaineer Field.
When so many programs are closing practices, how and why did that come about to open them up and travel around the state?
I just wanted to do it, you know, and there wasn't nobody. I mean, I came up with the idea, you know, so it wasn't like anybody was telling me to do it. So, you know, I talked to Alex about it, and we there's some compliance issues that we had to work through. Hopefully, the weather cooperates. It will be weather pending. I don't think anybody's going to want to sit in 5-degree weather with rain and sleet and snow and all that stuff to do that. We only get a few practices, so we need to take advantage of them. But just you know, just much like the spring game is, you know, just wanted to open those up and let everybody come watch and show everybody across the state that we will put a product out there that you can be proud of.
Can you talk a little bit more about Scott Howard, what you see him?
He can work out good. That's all I've seen. He asks a lot of questions in a meeting room. He comes in and meets with Shannon all the time and asks a lot of questions. He's eager. Nothing's more important to him than being a quarterback, which I view as incredibly important. You know, haven't seen him in a football setting yet. You know, so the workout end of it is good. The players gravitate towards him. He gets through a workout better than most our skill guys. So he's a workout guy that asks a lot of questions, and football is important.
Dana,
Breath of fresh air for me.
with regard to offense, is kind of what Bob was saying. I think you mentioned last year that a lot of teams you thought were switching to man, right? Now that you've stepped back and looked at stuff, is that just a hunch, or is that like an actual trend that you have to look at now and maybe adapt to a little bit?
Faced it probably a little bit more last year than we have in the past. Probably we'll face it a little bit more next year. Potentially depends on how good Mario can get at being a fade guy and how good Kevin can be at jump balls. That discourages a lot of man coverage when you got guys that can beat you deep at the drop of a hat. But you know, Oklahoma did it exclusively. Texas did it quite a bit. You know, Kansas did it quite a bit for a variety of reasons. You know, so yeah, probably. We can control that, though. We have something to say about that.
If I were running backs, how do you use them all? Does somebody play a little slot maybe? How do you differentiate between all five of those? Play a lot.
It is see who the better one is. And it's called competition. You know, competition makes everybody better, and when you don't have that competition, which we didn't have a lot of it last spring, guys get complacent. Guys don't, you know, try extra hard or whatever it is. So, you know, the more competition we can create at any position. You know, I mentioned this about the specialists, and Joe's looking at me, you know, with the thumbs up. But if Mike can beat out one of those three guys, we should be pretty good at one of those positions because, you know, I think we're pretty good at those three positions last year. But the more continuity, the more competition you have, the better. Last year we used quite a bit of running backs. You know, whether you can use one, whether you can use two, whether you can use three, you can line them up in a bunch of different places. I think is important.
Speaking of competition, you came within a heartbeat, possibly, of opening this year, coming off a bad season, against maybe the Division I and Division I AA champions, national champions, back to back. To say nothing of two other tough games. What are your thoughts about starting so tough in a year when you're trying to find things out?
I mean, we're the ones that made the schedule. You know, I'm the one that okayed it. You know, and you know, we're speaking of scheduling. I mean, we're trying to schedule as many high-profile games as we possibly can. And I think, you know, I think that's going to be the future of college football. You need to play high-profile games, whether they're neutral sites, whether they're home-and-home sites against, you know, other Power 5 conferences. I think that's the future of scheduling. You know, and Oliver has enough foresight for that a couple of years ago he brought this to our attention, and I thought it was a great idea to start the year high-profile situation like that, will it be challenging? Absolutely, it'll be challenging. The Big 12 is challenging as well. So we wanted to be relevant. We wanted to be in a situation where we're playing at the highest level possible, and that's what we got.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
The assistant coaches will be around the room, so just work your way around.